allegation against the Assam chief minister is that he is indulging in polarization strategy which is against the Muslims.
If you say that this is polarization, then so be it. But the reality is that the law applies to everybody.
Do you agree with Himanta Biswa Sarma's constant attack on Congress leader Gaurav Gogoi? One of the focal points of Congress campaign is this allegations of corruption against the chief minister. How is BJP tackling that? Is that a concern? BJP wins, will he be the chief minister?
The question itself indicates that there is an ecosystem which is trying to create some kind of
No, I'm asking you because you are the in charge.
There's no issue at all.
Social media post that was again, taken down by the BJP itself. It was aimed at the Muslim community.
The BJP has a very clear principle that we are for all. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas. There is no discrimination in governance.
So are you not in a way giving up on the Muslim vote?
No. This is not connected to delimitation. These illegal immigrants don't vote for the BJP. They are not even Assamese. They don't speak Assamese. They don't wear Assamese clothes.
But what is the current policy position of BJP as far as NRC in Assam is concerned? Why has BJP not been able to do it, or whose responsibilities? I was talking about the crisis in the energy sector. So pertaining to that, this LPG crisis, how the hardship that people are facing. So do you think this could impact elections at all?
Let me explain something.
Because we saw this in Bihar.
Don't interrupt. Let me complete.
Yes, please.
Because
yes, please.
I'm pushing.
No, I am not.
I'm going to push back very hard
yes.
on this, and let me explain the realities.
Hello, you're watching The Print Unscripted and I'm Neelam Pandey. We have with us Lok Sabha MP and in charge of Assam BJP, Baijayant Panda. Welcome to The Print, sir. Everyone wants to know one thing. There are these states, UTs, where elections are being held. If there is one state where one can say that, this is the best bet for the BJP, people take the name of Assam. Is it true?
The BJP is going to do very well across the states which are having elections now. And of course, Assam is at the forefront of that. And that is because there's been a tremendous turnaround over the past decade. Until a decade ago, the conventional wisdom was that the BJP could not win Assam because of the demographics. But with the advent of Prime Minister Modi and his immense popularity, that changed. And in the decade that the BJP and the NDA have been in government in Assam, there has been a complete transformation. So when it comes to the security situation, law and order, when it comes to the economy, there's a complete heaven and hell difference from 10 years ago. And the people of Assam do not want there to be any interruption in that. The immense popularity of Prime Minister Modi, the dynamism of Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, our alliance in the NDA, all of this is contributing immensely. We can talk more about the details as we go along. But indeed, the sense I get from traveling all across Assam is that the people of Assam have made up their mind to bless us to take this governance forward.
What is your assessment? What is the number you'll give?
I'll tell you this. It's going to be a historic mandate. It's going to be unprecedentedly high numbers. I don't want to give you a specific number, but we can discuss after the elections and you can correlate this. It'll be an unprecedentedly high number.
You were in charge of Assam earlier too. This is the second time that you've been given this responsibility. What changes do you see?
So 5 years ago, yes, I was in charge of Assam. The opposition was united. And it was considered a challenge. Nevertheless, we won with a very comfortable mandate. This time, the opposition is in disarray. They are not united. Several of the parties in the opposition are contesting on their own. The Congress is in complete disarray. Their leadership in Assam is not accepted by the party itself. And a couple of very senior leaders have quit and have joined the BJP. There are many others who want to come, but then, we also have our own karyakartas who have grown in stature over the years. So all this is leading to a situation where, and you can see on the ground, if you go around Assam, the enormous enthusiasm and response of the people for the BJP NDA government, for Prime Minister Modi, for Himanta Biswa Sarma, for Sarbanand Sonowal, and for other leaders. This, you can see the enthusiasm among women, among youth, among all sections of society. This is why my conclusion is that we are on the verge of a very historic mandate.
Right, you're talking about the opposition being in disarray, but if you look at a number of BJP leaders, for instance, Jayanta Kumar Das, the cabinet minister Nandita, there are other leaders who have quit, saying that, after they were denied party ticket. So at a time when you're talking about a disciplined party like the BJP, if karyakartas are actually voicing their concerns, what does it mean for the BJP
There
too?
is absolutely no comparison. Let me explain. For example, the two Congress leaders who have joined us was not because they were denied tickets, and they were of very high stature. Bhupen Bora was the immediate past PCC president. Pradyut Bordoloi is one of the senior most Congress MPs.
But they have been fielded.
No, they were not being denied tickets. They quit because of their disgust with Congress. Let me tell you why this is the case, and I'll talk to you about the BJP people you mentioned.
Right.
You see, in Assam, the youth have seen a transformation in opportunities for themselves. Traditionally, there used to be just the tea and the bamboo industry. Today, you have a 27,000 crore semiconductor factory. And there are Pravasi Assamese people who are working in other parts of the country who are very, very keen on these opportunities. And you saw the Congress disrupt the AI summit at a national level and their leaders gloating about it. The youth of Assam are disgusted at that. And that's why Congress leaders have made it, anybody who has an iota of nationalism left or public service left in their hearts, they feel they can no longer work in Congress. Now, you mentioned a couple of BJP people. These are they are junior people. These are people who were denied tickets.
The cabinet minister, you're saying,
Well,
was a
well,
junior person?
look, for whatever reason, a ticket was denied. Okay, because it was a consensus. Looking at the results of that area, looking at the surveys, looking at the karyakartas' feedback. Now, when people are denied tickets and they change, they were never BJP to begin with, because we are a party who believes nation first, party second, self last. So we have had a couple of minor figures who have left, where the BJP, where the Congress has seen very, very significant, the number 2, number 3 of the Congress have quit and come and joined us. So there is a big difference.
You don't think it puts a big question mark on the ticket distribution exercise?
Not at all, because our ticket distribution exercise is very clear, that we make sure that Assam's population is properly represented and the development is taken forward. And in that, we look at surveys, we have a process where we take feedback from the districts, we take feedback at the state level, and then it is decided at the National Parliamentary Board. The Congress, of course, is a completely different party. It's nepotistic in the center, it is nepotistic in Assam, and they follow a totally different algorithm, if you will, and that is no longer connecting with the people of Assam.
Right. There are a lot of allegations against Himanta Biswa Sarma that he is surrounded by Congress leaders, many who came earlier along with him, or many who are coming and joining now. So a number of former MLA Congress leaders have now been, given ticket, as you also pointed out. Some of them have been fielded by the party. What does it mean for the morale of the BJP worker who has been toiling hard for years and now feel that, when the opportunity had come that they will be rewarded, it has gone to those who have just joined the party, maybe now or a few years back?
This is an important question which deserves a proper answer. The reality is, if you look at the ticket distribution, the vast majority are people who have grown up in the BJP ecosystem. I can give you names of 3 general secretaries who have worked their way up the ranks. I can give you the names of 3 Yuva Morcha people who have been given tickets. The Mahila Morcha president has been given a ticket. I can give you innumerable examples. Now, the reality is, over the past 10 or 12 years, many people have joined the BJP from other parties. and not only from Congress and from other parties.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, some people keep trying to create a trope. People who've been in the BJP for 10 years, if you refer to them as newcomers or having come from some other party, that's not fair, because they've shown their commitment, they've shown their work for the party and for the state of Assam and for the country. So this is a narrative trying to be set by certain people. It's not based in reality.
Do you agree with Himanta Biswa Sarma's constant attack on Congress leader Gaurav Gogoi, especially related to the fact that his British wife worked briefly in Pakistan? Don't you think the BJP is taking it a little too far to keep on dragging that particular issue?
Actually, this is a question that even Congress people are asking. And this is a question that many other people are asking, for example, from the community that the Congress leader is from. Now, the CM is now very busy in campaigning, and what you are referring to is many weeks old. But I can tell you this, that these issues won't go away because this has been referred to investigation, and the results of that investigation will determine the process. But when you are in public office and when you have a financial connection with anything in Pakistan while living in India, it will raise questions. And you can argue about the manner in which or the bluntness with which the issue is raised, but you take away the bluntness and the issue remains. So this is something that will have to be answered, but let the investigation or the process take its own course.
Right. Well, another allegation against, the Assam chief minister is that he is, indulging in polarization strategy, which is against the Muslims. Is it a deliberate thing that the BJP is doing?
I think this is again a narrative of an old ecosystem that is trying to keep alive its ever shrinking base by creating such a fear psychosis. Let me explain something. Different people have different ways of communicating, and some people are very blunt. Some people may not be so blunt. But let's go to the core of the issues that Himanta ji has been raising. Leave aside the bluntness of the language. What exactly are the roots of the allegation of this polarization? One is, there is a crackdown on land grabbers. These are illegal immigrants, now whose forefathers deliberately chose to be not Indian, to break away from India. And yet, over 70 odd years, in the millions, they have invaded Assam. And I use the word invaded. They are not Indian citizens, and they have illegally grabbed land. They have grabbed forest land. They have grabbed government land. It's all out there. It's not just a narrative. They have grabbed lands around the Namghars and the Shatras, which are the religio-cultural ethos of Assam. The law does not permit this. The Congress governments tolerated this for decades and in fact facilitated it for their vote bank politics. The BJP NDA government has cracked down hard and imposed the law. So if you impose the law as it stands, now if somebody says that this is polarization, the fact is that most of these people are from a certain community who have come as illegal immigrants. But there are other communities also who have been evicted from their lands. You can't decide on whom to impose the law and not to impose the law. The majority of the people who are land grabbers are illegal immigrants from a certain community, and they have been impacted. Let me give you another example. This chief minister and the Assam government has cracked down very heavily against child marriage. Now, child marriage is not legal. It is not permitted by our constitution. You can't have 11-year-old girls giving birth. Okay? Now, it's unfortunate that a disproportionate number of the people impacted by this crackdown against child marriage are from a particular community who happen to be illegal immigrants. Now, if you say that this is polarization, then so be it. But the reality is that the law applies to everybody. Now, just like on the other side of the coin, Modi ji has made it very, very, very clear, sabka saath, sabka vikas. So government benefits, there's no discrimination. There are hundreds of government schemes, And if you look at, you cannot find a single example of discriminating against anybody on the basis of religion or anything else. Everybody gets equal benefits. Now, similarly, when you crack down with the law and impose penalties, there is no discrimination. But if the lawbreakers are disproportionately represented by certain sections, then obviously they will be affected more. And that's the crux of the issue.
Right, but if that is the case, then if you look at the social media of the BJP, especially the controversy that happened in the last social media post that was again taken down by the BJP itself, it was aimed at the Muslim community.
I think you've hit the nail on the head that the BJP does not tolerate any kind of discrimination. And if you mentioned that social media post was made, which was taken down by the BJP. Now, you can't control individuals if somebody has an ulterior motive. But the BJP has a very clear principle that we are for all. Sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka vishwas, sabka prayas. There is no discrimination in governance and there is no discrimination in our outreach to people. And our social media, if you look at the BJP handles, always adhere to this. If there is
It was by a BJP
yes,
handle.
that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
If there is an individual who breaks the BJP's principle or the code of conduct, they will be removed. They were removed and the post was taken down. So that's what you should be actually pointing out, that we do take action on such
Right.
issues.
But just to add to that, Mr. Sarma has also been saying that, BJP is contesting on 103 seats because, in a way, indicating the rest are all Muslim dominated and after the delimitation. So he was, in a way, alleging the way delimitation exercise was carried out. He said we are actually not focused on that. So are you not, in a way,
this is-
giving up on the Muslim
No.
votes?
This is not connected to delimitation because the demographics of Assam have changed severely over the last 7 to 8 decades. The delimitation process, there are rules imposed since independence. They apply equally to all the states. Delimitation is not done by BJP. But let me explain something.
Why is he saying we are only contesting on 103? In many interviews, he said this.
The reality is the demographics. Let's understand that.
Yeah.
So, in 1947, when we got independence, the country was sadly partitioned. And as I told you, certain sections of pre-independence India decided they were not Indian. They wanted to be separate. And as a result, after independence, we found that the demographics of that constituency was 11% of the population. Today, it has reached 38% in Assam. Now, the rest of India and many of your viewers will be quite shocked at this transformation. 38% of the population represents a certain demographic which has not come about naturally. It has come about unnaturally. It has come about through an invasion of illegal immigration in the millions. Now, the reality is that these illegal immigrants don't vote for the BJP. They're not even Assamese. They don't speak Assamese. They don't wear Assamese clothes. So they are not. They have not been. This is the reason that many people used to say that the BJP would never come to government in Assam until 10 years ago. Now, Modi ji's magic, our efforts through our various leaders, Sonowal ji, Himanta Biswa Sarma ji, currently party president Dilip Saikia ji, and the strategic planning by former party president and now Home Minister Amit Shah ji has brought about this connect with the vast majority of the Assamese population. But you can't totally avoid demographics. Now, if demographics in certain seats indicate that there is an overwhelming percentage of people there who are openly saying in surveys that they will not vote for the BJP. So we have to be practical, but we don't give up on anybody. Our philosophy is our sabka saath, sabka vikas applies to, even if you're not a voter with us today, tomorrow you will be a voter with us. Maybe 10 years later, you will be a voter with us. That's exactly what has happened in Assam and the Northeast. In the last 10 years, people have started voting for us who had been predicted to never vote for us. You've seen the same thing in Goa. Demographics which had not voted for us in the past have been voting for us. You are seeing a turnaround in places like Kerala. Certain demographics which were, the conventional wisdom was that they would never vote for BJP. They are beginning to vote for the BJP. You've seen a turnaround in the metropolitan elections in Kerala. So the point I'm trying to make is that we will campaign in all 126 constituencies. But we have to be practical. And of course, there are certain constituencies which we hope to win, maybe not in this election, maybe not in the next election, but maybe 10 years, 15 years down the road. But there are certain other constituencies which are certainly going to win this time, even those which we haven't won in the past.
Right. Well, you're contesting on 89 seats. The majority mark is 64. So in a way, it's like given that there will be an alliance government, that BJP is like, we'll
We've
have
had
to
an
go
alliance
for.
for well over 10 years. In
But
fact,
why not have your own government?
no. See, the BJP believes in meeting the aspirations of the people. And we have had an alliance with several regional parties in Assam for well over a decade. So with the AGP, which is a regional party with a great history, they're contesting 27 seats this time. We have an alliance with BPF, which is a Bodo party. We have an alliance with UPPL, which is another Bodo party. So we are very clear. The BJP doesn't ditch its allies. Sometimes allies ditch us, but the BJP doesn't ditch its allies. And you're right. Even last time we had achieved the majority mark on our own, but that's not the significant aspect.
Do you see Zubeen Garg's death impacting your prospects in the state?
Look, it was a big tragedy that happened. It happened in Singapore. The Singapore police are investigating. The Assam government has taken very strong action, and it has led to arrests of certain people who have been alleged in the matter. They continue to be incarcerated. They continue to be in jail. And the Assam government has been very assertively pushing for expediting the process of justice. And on the request of the Assam government, the Chief Justice of the High Court has now allocated a bench for day-to-day hearings on that matter. No, this is not a political issue. This is a social issue which shocked a lot of people. But the BJP NDA government has been completely in tune with the people's sentiments on this matter.
Right. There's a lot that has been said about the freebies culture. If we look at Assam, for instance, I believe rupees 9,000 was given to around 40 lakh women across the state. At a time when PM, if you look at his past speeches, he has spoken about the ravery culture. And then, before elections, every government ends up indulging in such, what can I call it, like scheme, strategy. How do you look at it? Is it not bribing the voter?
This is a complete misrepresentation of the issue. And I'm afraid I must push back very hard against your question. Let me explain something.
Because we saw this in Bihar.
Don't
too.
interrupt. Let me complete.
Yes, please.
Because
yes, please.
I'm pushing.
No, I am not.
I'm going to
giving
push
you...
back very hard
Yes.
on this. And let me explain the realities.
Yeah.
Remember something, back in the 80s, the then Congress Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi made the very telling point that out of every rupee spent by the government, only 15 paisa reaches the average citizen. And the rest of it goes in corruption, in salaries, wages, leakages, etc., inefficiencies. Now, in the last dozen years, Prime Minister Modi has transformed this culture with the focus on the JAM trilogy and DBT. That is Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, Mobile and DBT. Now, DBT means that every penny that you spend, that the government spends, reaches the citizen. Now, I have been an advocate of DBT long before Modi ji became Prime Minister. There are others who have been advocates of DBT. Nobel laureate Abhijit Banerjee has won his Nobel laureate by doing randomized controlled trials on financial transfers direct to people in Africa, in Mexico, and other places. Okay, this is the philosophy that has been brought about by the BJP NDA government at the center and now everywhere. Others are also following it now. Now, if you remember, the Congress viciously opposed the implementation of Aadhaar, and they made fun of the Jan Dhan accounts being opened, saying all these crores of accounts having zero balances. But what has it achieved? It has achieved zero corruption funding, government funds reaching people. I can give you some specific examples. The Lakhpati Didis is a very, very big success story, and it is admirable. And channels such as yours and journalists such as you should be celebrating it, because it has created crores of women who are financially independent. they are self-sufficient, and they're able to take care of their families. Now, this is being emulated by others even. Look at what the DMK government is doing, trying to do in Tamil Nadu and other places. Now, the reality is that when you talk about freebie culture, you should be comparing it to what Congress used to do and up until last year, what the Aam Aadmi Party used to do in Delhi. Now, that freebie culture was based on corruption, which Rajiv Gandhi himself admitted in 1980s. And if you see what used to happen in Delhi, the so-called free water meant that people get horribly polluted water from which they would get typhoid. No services. The free transport, public transport for women meant that the DTC had only 1/3 of the buses that it needed. Compare that to the BJP's approach in Delhi. We have just now purchased thousands of buses, which are going to be electric buses. It cuts pollution, it provides affordable public transport for the people. So don't compare the Revdi culture of these anarchist parties and the old Congress party, which was based on a patronage system. The whole idea was that they give these so-called freebies. It barely reaches a few people. The majority of the money was pilfered and taken away. But the DBT culture is not a freebie culture. It is a culture to empower people. It has empowered women. It has empowered students. It has empowered backward communities. It has empowered micro enterprises. And the list goes on.
You mentioned Delhi and you said that, the scheme of water, you were getting dirty water, but BJP is continuing with all these schemes.
That's not true. So look, if you want to talk about Delhi, let's explain. The Delhi Jal Board under the previous government did not have its accounts audited for more than 7 years. The whole idea was to siphon off the money. You promise free water to the people, but you put thousands of crores of money into the Jal Board, don't audit its accounts, siphon it off. You appoint your own karyakartas as implementers of these so-called freebies and siphon off the money. There is a stark difference between, on the one hand, the old Congress freebie culture, which was a patronage system of looting money, the new anarchist party's freebie culture, which offer freebies to people but basically give them no services, siphon off money, and the BJP's NDA government's DBT method of empowering people. There's a huge difference.
Let me come back to Assam again. You talked about illegal infiltration. BJP has been, in power at the center since 2014, in Assam since 2016. So state and center, both BJP government. So when we are talking about border management or, internal enforcement, it all comes under the center as well as the state. So why shift the blame on someone else? If the steps had to be taken to address the issue of illegal infiltration, why has BJP not been able to do it, or whose responsibility is it?
That's a pertinent question, and let me give you a clear answer. There has been a huge transformation, but there is a more than 7 decades of backlog. Like I told you, the Congress governments in the past facilitated, because of vote bank politics, millions and millions and millions of people who are illegal immigrants. Now, Assam has a complication because there have been many accords signed in the past, and there have been court judgments, including Supreme Court judgments, which put certain guardrails or guidelines about how this can be done. So, within these constraints, massive amount of work has been done. I've just given you examples of thousands of acres of government, forest and Namghar land which were occupied. They have been freed up. Large numbers of people have been pushed back who are illegal immigrants. The flow itself has dwindled because they realize that the government here is not going to facilitate them anymore. Look at the border fencing, which had been pending for decades. Now, 238 kilometers of border fencing has been done with Bangladesh, which represents, I think, about 90% of what was required. Look at the other things that are going on. Now, for example, there was an NRC. Now, the NRC was a court-ordered process. It was not a government thing. It was not a BJP thing. The last time that the NRC happened, several objections were raised, and then the court itself is monitoring. So that will take its own course because the court has to monitor that. But parallelly, for example, the SIR process has taken place. It happened in Bihar, it has happened in Bengal, it is happening in all states going to polls. And a similar special revision has happened in Assam, which has identified many lakhs of fake voters. So this cleaning up process is going on. What I'm saying is, in the last 10 years, there has been a massive turnaround, but you have more than 70 years of backlog, and it will take a little bit of more time.
But what is the current policy position of BJP as far as NRC in Assam is concerned?
It is adjudicated by the Supreme Court. So, the BJP cannot have a policy position until and unless the court process it comes to a conclusion.
Well, we see that, this West Asia crisis has been unfolding for quite some time. Do you think this will also have sort of an impact on the elections?
So, I think this is important to point out. See this in the context of the Indian economy. Now, the Indian economy under Prime Minister Modi has gone from 11th position to now almost approaching 3rd position in the world. And for many, many years now, it has been the fastest growing of the large economies. On top of that, the inflation management and the fiscal deficit management in India has been among the best in the world, far better than Japan, Singapore, UK, US, much better. Now, the war in the Middle East is having some impact, but this is already planned for by the government. They are making arrangements. See this in the context of Assam. Now, just like the Indian economy has been the fastest growing for so many years, very few people know, and I think your viewers deserve to know this, Assam's economy, the state GDP, has been growing the fastest within India. In fact, many people are shocked to hear that Assam's GDP growth rate in the last 5 years is almost 50% higher than the average of the Indian states. And this is because, as I gave you examples of many new areas, new sectors in technology, in infrastructure, I'll give you two or three examples. So, for 7 decades, Assam had 6 medical colleges. Now, just in the last 1 decade, we have added 9 more. So, it's now 15, and the under construction ones is going to take it to 21 in just the next year or two. And then further another 8 or 10 are being planned. This is just medical colleges. The Brahmaputra had, the number of bridges required, and what it had was just a fraction. Now, several new bridges have been added over the Brahmaputra, which is by far the largest river. So all this is transforming the economic situation in Assam and giving opportunities to the Assamese diaspora which are outside. And I want to conclude by saying this. All this has been made possible primarily by the Prime Minister's focus. The Prime Minister has articulated right from the beginning that the neglected areas of the country, especially the Northeast and the East, will get special attention. The PM just made his 77th visit to the Northeast and to Assam. Compare this with his predecessor, who was technically representing Assam in the Rajya Sabha, but made only 10 visits in a similar period. Railways. The budget for Assam has gone up 500% in the last decade since the BJP NDA government came into government. I can give you similar examples. So the economy in Assam is booming.
Right. I was talking about the crisis in the energy sector. So pertaining to that, this LPG crisis, how the hardship that people are facing. So do you think this could impact elections at all?
No, I don't think so. Because, as I mentioned right at the beginning of my response to your question, the government has intervened and taken steps to ensure that the average citizen is not impacted. Certain restrictions were placed on commercial establishments, which itself are beginning to be eased, because alternate arrangements for fuel which were made a few weeks ago are beginning to now reach. So even the commercial establishments which had some restrictions on LPG, they've had some easing just in the last few days. And they will keep on getting eased as the alternate sources start delivering, start reaching. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Right. I just wanted to talk to you about Bodoland Territorial Region. If you talk about that particular part, how is BJP managing sort of, coordination between UPPL and BPF?
So let's see this in the context of how the Assamese situation has transformed. So before 2016, Assam had a fundamental problem of violence and law and order. You had militants, you had murders, daylight murders, and the economy was in shambles. So there were accords in the past which weren't implemented. Now, Home Minister Amit Shah has focused and made sure that these these accords did get implemented. So in the Bodo areas and in other tribal areas, thousands of militants have laid down their arms in the last few years. And the law and order situation has improved dramatically. You've seen also that, for example, AFSPA, the Armed Forces Special Protection Act, has been removed in about 2/3 of the areas where it was applied in Assam. So normalcy has returned. And with normalcy, investments have come, including in the Bodo areas. So you can go to the Bodo areas today, you can travel freely, there's no danger, and you can see the bustling activities. Now, that brings us to the alliances that you're talking about. So we've traditionally had an alliance with the BPF, and there's a new party that came up in the UPPL. Both are in the NDA. Both are in the NDA. They're contesting. The UPPL leader has just gone to the Rajya Sabha on an NDA ticket with support from BJP and also others. And so whatever happens, the NDA gains. So we have a very good arrangement with our allies there.
You know, one of the focal points of Congress campaign is this allegations of corruption against the chief minister. How is BJP tackling that? Is that a concern?
So, let's talk about corruption. In the Congress era, there was open loot that was going on. So I'll give you one example. I think this should illuminate the situation. Youth are most interested in jobs and opportunities, economic opportunities. And there was massive corruption before 2016 in terms of the Assam Public Services Commission. The government jobs were being openly auctioned off, being sold by people. And students who had worked hard and cleared their exams were not getting those jobs. There has been a complete turnaround. Starting in 2016 itself, when Sarma was Chief Minister, the Assam Public Services Commission chairman and others were arrested and the turnaround began. In Dr. Himanta Biswa term, in the last 5 years, 1,65,000 government jobs have been handed out, and they have been done in public ceremonies in stadiums with proper vetting, and not a single example of malfeasance has been pointed out by anybody. So if you talk about corruption, there's been a massive turnaround. The youth are getting jobs in their lakhs with not a single argument that any job has been given in a corrupt manner.
So,
this is just an example. This is an example, and if we had all day to talk about, I can give you many other examples. So it's a false allegation of, there's an old saying in Hindi, ulta chor kotwal ko dante. This is the Congress's attempt.
So if BJP wins, will he be the chief minister?
Look, we have a very dynamic and very popular chief minister who's leading the campaign. The question itself indicates that there is an ecosystem which is trying to create some kind of
No, I'm asking you because you are the in charge.
There's no issue at all.
Okay, thank you so much for taking out time. This is Neelam Pandey reporting from New Delhi with Sakib Khan.